Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Zone. Today we have the second episode, and before we get into it, I would just like to say that we've got Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and the Patreon. Everything will be linked down below in the description, and for those who are wondering about Patreon, you can basically go in there and donate to us. But if you don't want to do that and you simply don't have the funds for that, you can just promote us. That helps us out as well. So, Hakeem, I'll let you take the word.
Yeah. So for you guys on YouTube, as you can see in the title, this is episode 2. If you guys want to see episode 1, go over to Spotify and check it out. We did that last week. We didn't have the facilities to record on YouTube that time round, but now we're on YouTube. And for those of you guys on Spotify, you guys can't see on the whiteboard behind us that we have the topics that we're going to be talking about today. So throughout the episode, we're going to be narrating as well as possible for the things that you obviously can't see. And without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about, obviously, the weekend recap, as we always do every week. And then we're going to have a European roundup discussing Champions League and Europa League and just touching upon the Conference League. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about the England World Cup squad and the controversy around that and who we, if we were Southgate, would take to the World Cup. Not our predictions, but who we would take if we were the manager. So let's dive right into it.
Yeah.
Serie A we'll start with first.
Yeah.
Napoli, they're going strong. By the way, if you guys see me looking down, it's my notes, and I'm not going to knock the mic. If you guys can see the difference between Peter's and my notes.
Only those on YouTube can see it.
Yeah, you know he's prepared when he comes like this. Me, I was just dashing all my notes beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Napoli, they're going really strong. Stay on top.
Stay unbeaten as well. They lost to Liverpool in the midweek.
Yeah.
2-0, right?
2-0, yeah, with 2 really late goals.
Yeah, but that game didn't matter all that much.
Yeah, but the 2-0 game didn't really matter. Unless Liverpool had gotten one more, then they would have won the group. But
yeah. But obviously it is a shame for Napoli that they lost the first game.
Yeah.
But the only unbeaten team in Europe is PSG right now.
Yeah.
As of right now, in all competitions.
Yeah, in all competitions.
Yeah, it used to be we talked about this early on, but also Real Madrid and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, Napoli they are doing really good in the league as well, and they are staying on top. And you would think that they would actually not even be in top 6 when you think about it, because they got rid of Koulibaly, Mertens, Insigne, Fabian Ruiz. So you wouldn't even consider them a top 6 team, but they're at the top.
Arguably, all their best teams have gone. But one thing that does shock me is that you see Inter in 7th place and Juventus, and Inter just come off a 2-0 loss. Juve, they're sat at 5th place, and suddenly that's a whole flip in the...
Yeah, and Juve, they also didn't make it out the group.
No.
But they just beat Inter 2-1.
Yeah. And Milan as well, staying consistent from last year. They came off with a 2-1 win. But yeah, Italy's... You got to keep an eye on that one this year.
I think it's the most competitive league this year. 100%. I think so.
Really?
The top 6 in there, you've got some teams in
over
there.
the Prem.
Competitive, like how it is on the table. How many points there's between?
In terms of point tally.
Yeah, how many points there's between the first and the 7th?
Yeah, there's not very many. Yeah.
No,
right.
Other than Napoli, because they've gone unbeaten the whole season.
Yeah, very true, very true. And in Spain, Real Madrid dropped points.
Yeah, they lost to Rayo Vallecano. 3-2.
Yeah. That sees Barca go back up to the top, 2 points clear with 34 points.
Yeah.
And then Barca secured a 2-0 win to make sure that they took that top space again.
Yeah, I watched that game, and it could have easily been like 8-0 Barcelona. Ferran Torres, he missed a lot of chances, but he's a player that I like. You know that as well. I really like Ferran Torres. I think he's a good player. He just doesn't finish his chances. He gets into the right positions at the right times, but he just cannot get that finishing touch, which is a shame for him, because he's such a great player. And he got subbed out as well, and you could clearly tell that he was very unhappy. By the way, PK, his last game for Barcelona.
Of course, legend.
Yeah,
absolute legend.
Club legend, but it was about time. Yeah.
Why do you think he decided to leave in the middle of a season when Barca are doing well? Do you just think he had enough, or internal problems?
he got, first of all, he got a lot of hate because he was terrible. He was a liability whenever they played him, like we saw against Inter. He was the main factor as to why they conceded the first goal.
Yeah.
And again, the winter break is coming up now, and then they don't start the season until December 30th, I think.
Yeah.
So they have time to also get in a new centre back.
Yeah. So his time, he knew his time was done.
Yeah, he knew his time was done, and now we've got such a long break, so
Yeah.
it is the correct decision to do it now.
And I also saw that he basically let Barca off the 30 million that they owe him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
shows great character.
Very, and that shows how much he loves the club as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Obviously, for a footballer, maybe. When
but 30 million is a lot of money.
It's still 30
yeah.
million euros.
Yeah.
When you're retiring.
But then again, PK, he is also a businessman, so 30 million is just something he throws at stuff.
Yeah, and I guess a business opportunity for him in the future, or coaching or whatever, is Barcelona.
He said that as well.
Yeah, so, all right, there you go.
So PK retired.
And Betis.
Sevilla.
4th place. There were 3-1-1 draws this weekend in the La Liga.
3 red cards in that game against Sevilla. 3 red cards.
Yeah.
All I watched the game, and I would say all 3 of them were correctly.
Yeah.
But again, it's also a derby. Betis Sevilla. But yeah, they were all good calls by the ref, and it's really fun to see a game when you play like 9 against 10 players.
Yeah.
It's fun to see.
Yeah,
a lot of crazy stuff happens, but it only ended in a 1-1 draw. So, but yeah, there was a lot of drama in that game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Moving on to Germany, Bayern still on top as they should be.
Not still. They just got on top this week.
Okay.
Because,
back on top. Yeah. My bad.
Union Berlin lost 5-0 to Leverkusen.
Which is a bit of a shock considering how well they've been going this season.
And Bayer Leverkusen have been very bad. They were in the relegation zone up until a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And they at halftime it was 0-0, and Leverkusen scored 5 goals in the second half.
Yeah. That was an unreal game. Just suddenly you just turn on the gas.
Yeah.
And Leverkusen knew everyone's going to be watching. You're playing against a top team. Maybe this is the time to turn our season around. But to a football fan who doesn't necessarily follow football the way we do, seeing teams like Union Berlin and Freiburg in the top 3 in a top league is not necessarily something you see every day. Obviously, Dortmund at 4th, which is a bit surprising considering the fact that they are considerably stronger than the rest of the teams that are above them. But they just come off a 3-0 win.
Yeah.
And as you said, Berlin lost 5-0.
Yeah.
And then Leipzig chilling at 6th.
Yeah.
Considering they're in Europe and Freiburg, Berlin, and Frankfurt are as well.
Yeah.
But two non-European teams are just fighting really hard in the Bundesliga, so that looks good for competitiveness over in that league this year.
Did Frankfurt make the did they get
16?
No, I know. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, they did. Yeah. It's because I forgot to print out something. We were gonna talk about the European competitions, and I had the pictures of the
group stages.
Not the group stages, the knockout games.
Yeah.
I had them printed out.
I got them here.
Good,
here.
because I forgot to print that out as well. But yeah, let's head over to the Premier League.
The Premier League. We don't do League One. We don't do Farmers, and the GOAT Leo didn't even play this weekend, so there's no point even talking about
I want
them.
to start at one point. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Great game, I feel
it's
like.
It's nothing personal. Did you see that? It's nothing personal.
What? No.
Before the game, a couple of days before, Chelsea did a promotion video for the game, and they got Aubameyang to say, "I'm blue now. It's nothing personal. I'm ready." And then he gets subbed off in the 67th minute. With
he might take down that video. He lost the game.
When Gabriel scored, he ran over to Aubameyang and celebrated in front of him, and then some of the players posted afterwards.
That's good.
Nothing personal.
That's good. Yeah. That does deserve. When you sometimes, as Danny Parejo once said, when you spit up, it falls down in your face sometimes. So
legendary quote.
Yeah, that's what happens, and I like it, and it's Aubameyang's fault.
Yeah. And you're old, especially with a club with such rivalry, such history together, and you just jump between. Not many players have done that jump, but the players that have, if you talk to either fan bases, you will know that there's no love left in a relationship when someone does something like that, and then you take it that extra step further to go and try and humiliate your old club, and then end up humiliating yourself. Shocking from Aubameyang.
Yeah. But it was a good game overall. Sometimes a bit boring at times, but I thought that the right winner was Arsenal. Yeah. They won the game, and they should have won the game.
And I mean, Chelsea this season aren't doing too well.
No, they're seventh
place.
And they're going to meet third place Newcastle,
it was the last top game left before the World Cup.
Yeah.
So that will be an interesting watch. Yeah. But not talking about the top 6 or 7 or whatever it is this year, Leeds and Bournemouth 4-3. That was an unreal game. You guys should definitely. I'm always going to be telling you guys to go and check out some highlights of games. I don't even know too much about the game, but it was really entertaining. So go check it out. And Leeds coming off suddenly as
a good
playing
team.
really
They,
well.
as you said last episode, they hadn't won a game since August. Then they
Yeah.
went against Chelsea,
And,
right?
and no, Liverpool.
Liverpool, sorry,
Yeah.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Brighton who
Yeah.
won against Chelsea.
Yeah, it was. I'm reasonably sure it was a comeback as well, which is
Yeah.
it's good to
It's
see
good.
that more teams in the Premier League are doing well, which is why I was a little bit shocked when you said the Napoli thing. I guess the Serie A thing with the league being
with
more
the
competitive.
points.
Yeah.
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 What you also have, going back to Serie A just quickly, you also have teams who are not usually in the top 6 up there, like Udinese, but they start to fall a little bit down again now.
Yeah.
It's a team that I follow closely, given one of my favorite players plays there, Delofeo. So, but they've fallen back down again.
Yeah.
But another game, Aston Villa completely obliterates Manchester United. That was a really good game. I watched it, and Aston Villa, I think they were honestly owning the game. And then Manchester United, they got one back, but that didn't bother Aston Villa. No. They scored a couple of minutes
Kept
after
it
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do they have a new manager yet? Oh, Unai Emery.
Unai Emery, yeah.
Of course. Since Gerrard left, they've been a totally different team.
Yeah.
And that's Emery for you, world-class manager. What was their result last week?
They won a game 4-0 as well.
Okay, there you go.
But then they lost.
No, they've already had. This is their second win in a row under Emery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unreal from Aston Villa.
And talking about another big team, big clubs, Liverpool win 2-1 against Spurs. I feel like the second half, I did not watch the first half, where both of the goals came from Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Good that he's back on form finally.
Definitely.
But I feel like the second half, Spurs, they were the better team.
100%. I mean, there's this thing going around now that Spurs are second half Spurs. Even Kane said it in his post-match interview. Because the first half, Spurs was shambolic. I watched that game. And Liverpool cooked them. That's the type of Liverpool that we're used to seeing, the team that's going to win a Prem or a Champions League. It was absolutely unreal from them. But then second half, table just totally switched. Kulusevski came on and changed the game.
Yeah, he was really good when he came on. Instant impact.
Amazing assist. And again, Thiago lunging into tackles, selling himself. But Liverpool's first away win of the entire season.
That's good. It's good to get away wins.
In the league.
Yeah, in the league.
So...
it's good to get away wins as well.
Yeah.
It also shows that you are a strong team and strong individuals.
Yeah.
So I think we should just head straight to the next topic,
yeah.
which is the Europa competitions roundup.
Yeah.
Let's start at the Champions League.
Before we go on, just a quick thing. We can touch upon that when we talk about the Champions League draw. But Liverpool have been put off for sale.
Yeah, I saw that.
Many Liverpool fans I've seen on Instagram and Twitter that are very happy about that. But do you think an oil money owner really suits the Liverpool?
No, not at all.
No one would be happy with that,
would they? It suits City in the sense that they were never really like the history club, but Liverpool is a club with immense history. So to get taken over like that, it's not right.
No, especially in a season where they're doing poorly, suddenly they just decide, okay, we're gonna buy people out now. We're gonna.
It's also kind of ironic that Jurgen Klopp has complained a lot about City having players and stuff like that. And then Liverpool might get taken over. Yeah. It's kind of ironic.
For their sake, I really hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. Let's move on.
Europa competition roundup.
Yes.
I think we should just start by talking about the draws. Really.
Rigged.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you see the video of
no, I didn't,
of the Europa League one where the one of the people who did the draw, he put his hand in to draw out United, and then he put his hand on the ball. And then just circled. You know how they mix it.
Yeah, I didn't see.
He just had his hand.
It's rigged. Yeah,
he just had his hand. It was going.
I know
this.
It's rigged. Yeah, no, but it is rigged. Like it is rigged. Yeah. It's not something like it's not a bold statement to say it's not a conspiracy theory. It is actually rigged.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that for the last 2 seasons, Barca and Bayern have met each other in the Champions League group stages.
Yeah.
And Real, they always meet like the same teams. Shakhtar, they always meet each other.
And Napoli always meet each other.
Napoli always meet each other as well. And of course they had to line it up so Barca and United would meet each other. And Liverpool, Real Madrid, because who doesn't want to see a Champions League final rematch? So again, Chelsea
and City get the easy draw.
Yes,
as
City
always.
as always. Leipzig, yeah. So it is. I'm sorry, but it is rigged.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it kind of ruins the Champions League in a way because the quality of football this season we're going to see in the Champions League is just not going to be as good because half of the good teams are going to get knocked out. Obviously, Dortmund and Chelsea aren't the biggest teams, but still, one of them is going to go out early. Bayern or PSG, one of them's going to go.
Oh
out
yeah,
early.
I didn't even touch upon that game. Again, another Champions League final in 2020.
Yeah.
That's one Champions League final, and then the Champions League final right here. We get that again.
Yeah.
That's just proof that it's rigged.
And then it just happens to be that Inter and Porto and Frankfurt and Napoli meet each other, and then Bruges and Benfica, who you would argue are the smaller teams.
Small teams.
Yeah. It's absolutely, and then as you said again, it just happens to be that the two biggest teams in the Europa League group stage draw each other in the next round. It's so rigged. It's so rigged.
It really is.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna come with our predictions now for the games because obviously it happens even after the winter transfer window.
Yeah.
So some of the teams will just get a whole new team and complete
Things
makeover.
will change by then.
Yeah, complete makeover of some teams. Maybe not a complete one. It is the winter transfer window, but some small adjustments here and there. Maybe Liverpool will buy a midfielder who's not injury prone.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
that would.
But the other competitions as well. We talked about Manchester United and Barcelona. Arguably the biggest game in the Europa League.
Yeah. One of the biggest we've seen in a while as well.
Yeah.
Two heavyweights.
The Europa League is also very exciting this year. A lot of good teams are
Who do you think will win the Europa League between Arsenal, United and Barcelona?
I don't know. It's not even those three teams. Like you've got Juventus in there as well. I know that I don't think they're gonna win it.
No, true.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that you've got big names in there. Ajax as well. Real Betis, Roma.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I have a list here. Ajax, Atletico, Barca, Sevilla, FCK, personally, because we live in Copenhagen, and Juventus. None of them made it through to the group stage.
Yeah.
No, Juve finished 4th. They don't have Europe anymore.
Yeah.
They finished 4th.
No, they finished 3rd. Juve finished 3rd.
Oh, Maccabi Haifa finished 4th.
And
Atletico finished 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of Europe, sorry.
Bayer Leverkusen are in Europa League as well, so there's big teams in there. Big name clubs.
Yeah.
Very exciting stuff.
And in terms of Bayern and PSG, I was talking to Jacob earlier, a friend of mine who's a Bayern fan, and he was saying how incredibly unfair it is that Bayern can almost have a perfect record in the Champions League and then end up facing a team like PSG. Because PSG didn't even top their group. They came second.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Obviously, but it's still, you would think.
Not
you
Bruges,
get
but
easy...
Benfica won.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's not how it works though. Like,
unfortunately.
Yeah, like how well you do if you go 6 for 6. It doesn't change like the odds.
But I don't think they didn't go 6 for 6, right? They went
no, I'm just saying it.
6.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how many games you win. It doesn't change the odds of getting like if you want to blame anyone, you really have to blame PSG for not finishing first. Because let's say they didn't get PSG, then they would have gotten Benfica.
Yeah.
If Benfica finished second, so it's.
Or maybe they wouldn't have because the game was fixed.
Yeah, that's true though. That's a good point because it is fixed.
You never know with this type of stuff.
Conference League, I don't know too much about that one, but I do have a winner prediction. I'm thinking Villarreal will win that competition. West Ham is in there as well. Fiorentina as well.
And Nice, Schmeichel's new club.
Yeah. But I think it will be Villarreal. They've got good players.
Yeah.
They were in the Champions League semifinals last season. The year before that, they won the Europa League. So I think it's time
to... One hell of a European rollercoaster ride they've been on there.
Yeah.
Suddenly European glory, nearly European glory on the highest stage, and then...
the lowest stage.
To the pity tournament.
Yeah.
Just so they made that just so United could get Europe.
Yeah.
So that's a funny one. Yeah. But also was gonna mention about in the Europa League that Midtjylland also went through. So we have a Danish team in the Europa League knockout stages.
I don't know if Silkeborg went through to the Conference League.
I don't think they did.
Unless
they finished second.
Yeah. But
no, they didn't. I would have written it down.
A fun thing about the Midtjylland group: 8-8-8-8 on the points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The points like first, second, third, fourth all had the exact same points.
Yeah.
It was down to head, goal difference, all those other things.
Yeah. It was that must be a tough one to take, that you finish on the same points as the first one and you don't even get nothing from it.
Yeah, you don't even go down to the Conference League. You literally just go all the way out.
Yeah.
By the way, a thing I want to talk about the Europa League. Some people, I don't think everyone knows exactly how it works. So, the one who finishes first in their group, they don't go to the. Obviously, there is the preliminary playoffs, which some people don't know about.
Yeah.
So the one who finished second in their group, they don't go straight to the round of 32 or round of 16.
Round of 16.
Round of 16. They go to the round of 32 with the teams who finished third in the Champions League. So that is why, especially in Europa League, that it matters so much whether or not you finish first or second. I would argue it matters more than it does in the Champions League, because you have to play two more games, one more round.
And in United's case now, now they've got to face Barcelona instead of just having a free ticket into the next round.
Exactly.
And that's really bad for them, because they've also got the league to think about. Their fighting, and another game against a huge heavyweight like Barcelona, potentially, who will knock them out. Is just absolutely shocking for a team like that to finish second to Sociedad.
Exactly.
And there was obviously visible frustration from Uncle Ronaldo, as there always is. But yeah, so that
again, what he said when he said against a team like Sociedad, nothing wrong about Sociedad. It wasn't a diss at Sociedad. I know that, but I agree with you. For them not to finish first really came back to bite them in the butt, because now they have to run into a heavy giant like Barcelona instead of just getting the free ticket.
And you know the Tottenham group in the group stage. Throughout that night, I was looking on live score, and all of the teams had been in a different place in the group throughout the whole night. Emotions must have been running so high for any
roller coaster of emotions.
Definitely,
like, quite literally.
Tottenham, they went, I think, from second to third to first. Marseille, they were top at one point, and now they're out of Europe. It's there's been a lot of emotions in Europe, but that's what football's about.
Yeah, that's good, because this group stage has been very exciting, and I think we will see the best Champions League maybe of all time. Wait, no, not Champions League, the best Europa, all the competitions. Because Europa League is so exciting as well.
Because this year, I guess you can see in England, you can see in Italy, and you can see somewhat in Spain that teams aren't running away with it so early on. Everyone has a good team. Like you see Chelsea and Liverpool in 7th and 8th. You see Juve and Inter out of Champions League spots in Italy. You see Dortmund in 4th and
Sevilla in the relegation zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, for you guys on YouTube, if you don't go and check out the Spotify thing, the important thing I have to tell you about the first episode is that both Peter and I have had podcasts before this, but mine were never released and his was. But on my first episode, he predicted before the season started that Sevilla would have their worst season ever. When I say ever, like he said, Sevilla will have never had a worse season in their history in terms of when people knew them. I'm not sure how they were in flipping World War II times.
I don't know that either. Yeah. But like modern history.
And he called it. They're 17th, and they had a dip in the relegation zone at one point, didn't they? Last week
they were relegation zone.
Yeah. So something to know about this guy. He means business.
I will say this though. I still don't think that they will finish top 10.
No. I mean,
now I said last time that we were 1/3 through the whole season. We weren't, but we're getting closer to it. For every single match day, you lose something. Like what happens when we are on match day like 20, and they're still 15th.
Yeah.
Anyway, Europa competition. I think we've done that roundup. Should we go to the next topic? Do you think? England.
Let's do it.
England squad for the World Cup.
This is what I've been looking forward to.
I think we should start by presenting first of all the formation that we want to play in the World Cup. I want to play a 5-2-3.
Okay.
And you told me that last time before we recorded that was your formation too.
Yeah. So it was, and I feel like a bit of a traitor because I've gone back on my decision when it comes to that. Obviously, if you can't tell by now that I support England, then you need to get your eyes and your ears checked. But I feel very passionately about Southgate in a very negative way. And I do have here 3 different formations that England possibly could play.
I have one more as well.
They're all Brexit formations because Southgate's a Brexit manager.
True.
So I've got 5-2-3 as Peter does as well, because let's be realistic, he's probably going to take Maguire and play him in a 3-back.
Exactly.
And then I've got a 4-3-3 and a bit of a different 4-4-2 just to fit a little special someone in there. But
should I start?
Should we go goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and then attackers?
Yeah, and then we will present our formation last. All right.
Let's do that.
So obviously the World Cup squad will consist of 23 to 26 players.
26. It's 26.
Okay, good. My goalkeeper who I want to start is Ramsdale.
Okay.
He's been really good for Arsenal. He makes the World Cup squad. Next one is Henderson. And the third one is Pickford. I don't think there's any really other English keepers like that.
You've missed one.
I have.
You've had it, yeah.
Then tell me who it is.
This is a rare thinker. This one's going on TikTok. Nick Pope.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He had his Twitter moment where everyone tweeted Nick Pope, and then that was kind of it.
I mean, for me, Pope starts.
Okay.
For me, Pope starts. I'll give you my reason in a second, and then I have Ramsdale and Pickford as well. Obviously, Pickford is England's World Cup keeper. He has to go, and he's a good keeper. And the reason Pope starts for me over Ramsdale is because he's been, firstly, this season, both of them have had very phenomenal form. But I think about it like this: the keeper who's doing the best behind the worst defense is the better one of the two. If you put Ramsdale in that Newcastle defense, not taking anything away from Newcastle, considering that they're third. But then, in contrast, if you put Pope in that Arsenal defence, I think Pope thrives more in a better team. And Pope has also been a huge part of Newcastle's rebuild. And for that simple reason, Pope's form, and I hate to quote FPL, but the amount of points that guy gets for me is... So for me,
Pope
is in.
I can go with Pope as well, but I'm not gonna trade out Henderson or Ramsdale. I'm gonna trade out Pickford.
That's fair enough
because he's not good enough. Yeah. He's not good enough.
I mean, Henderson's a good keeper as well. So yeah, I mean, I can back that.
Yeah.
All right.
I've gone with my right backs and
good defenders. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one is obviously Trent.
Yeah.
The second one, he's still questionable, but Reece James, I don't think he's gonna make it, and I don't think he should for his own sake.
Yeah.
He's what, 24 or something like that?
He's young, 23, 24.
Yeah, so he's still got at least 2 World Cups in him.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should go to this World Cup for his own sake, at risk of ending his whole career.
Do you know what his injury is?
No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it was something to do with his ankle or knee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Look, if it's something with your leg, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't
definitely
go.
Not.
Trippier, I have as well. Obviously been insanely good for Newcastle. Gets goals and assists.
Yeah.
I had Kyle Walker, but he's not going to the World Cup. And I will explain why I had him as a right back. No, sorry, I actually have him as a center back, but he is a right back.
Yeah.
But I will explain that later on.
Mm-hmm.
What's your right backs?
So for my right backs, I've only taken 2. I'm taking Trent and Trippier.
Okay.
The fact that there's talk about Trent not even going to the World Cup is...
Sorry for interrupting quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I also have only 2 right backs because Walker and Trippier are not going. Yeah, and Trippier and Reece James is not going. Yeah.
The fact that there's talk about Trent not going to the World Cup is absolutely shocking for me. Number one, because England have 4 world-class right backs: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Kyle Walker, and Kieran Trippier. 2 of them are injured. There's no way you're only going to the World Cup with 1 right back. And if you take 2 and you don't take Trent, you got a screw loose in your head.
Yeah, who are you gonna pick? Wan-Bissaka? He's not even played this season.
Exactly. And I heard someone tell me Wan-Bissaka should go to the World Cup.
He doesn't
why do you think that? Because he has an 87 rated card in FIFA.
Yeah. And the worst thing, I don't even think his 87 rated is a performance based.
It's a Europa League card.
It's not even performance based.
No, exactly.
He's not even played in the Euro. I don't even think he's played in the Europa League.
No.
I went and checked the stats yesterday to see who actually plays.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've not watched every single game this season. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, Wan-Bissaka doesn't even play.
Yeah.
So why would he go to the World Cup?
That lot plays instead.
Yeah. Which deservedly so. But then why pick Wan-Bissaka when he's not even in form?
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go to my left backs because it's a little transition. I also have Trippier down as a left back because I'm pretty sure during England's 2018 World Cup run he played off the left sometimes, and then for Atletico when they did well in Europe he also played on the left, and that's also because of lack of options. Because on my sheet here I've got Luke Shaw. And obviously Luke Shaw isn't the greatest player, but he's sort of picking up his form again for Man United recently. And Roberto Carlos, that was a trend for a reason. When he plays for England, he's a different animal.
He scored in the final.
Exactly. That was one of the greatest moments of my life.
For 5 minutes, and then
it was a good 45 or 50 minutes. But yeah, and the thing is, I might have messed up my numbers. Bear with me for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I haven't. Okay. He's counting as well. And then my left back, I've gone with my other left back. I've gone with Tyreek Mitchell. Now, the only reason I've got him in there is because you can't go to the World Cup with your main left back as Luke Shaw and then not have a backup, and then your backup be your right back, leaving you with only one right back who arguably can't defend. So that definitely isn't going to work. That's why Mitchell, there's been a lot of talk about Mitchell in the past year. He's a good player. He's young. I'm pretty sure Southgate likes him. and I definitely think that he should be going, especially because there's no other options.
Can I say one thing?
Go on.
I did consider Mitchell as well,
Mhm.
but I don't think when he needs to get like into the England team, I think the World Cup is a terrible place to do it.
Start.
It's not a place to experiment in the World Cup. You want to do that in the Nations League or in the friendlies.
Yeah.
Like Italy, obviously they're not going, but in but in the Nations League they played with players that you've never even heard of.
Yeah.
So you want to go with Italy.
Yeah.
You want to go like Italy they did in the Nations League. Play players like that, like him in the Nations League. Don't just take him out for a World Cup on his first. I don't know if he's been called up before, but he's not an established left back at the national team.
I'm not sure if he's been called up before either. But just quickly, if you guys disagree with anything that's going on here or have anything to say about it, make sure to drop a comment.
Yeah.
And drop a like, obviously, but especially if you're happy that Italy aren't going to the World Cup, please. So do that for us. And subscribe as well. Wow, it feels weird saying that for the first time running a YouTube channel. But yeah, go on. Give me your left backs.
My left backs. Luke Shaw. I would have put Chilwell, but he's obviously injured.
Unfortunately.
I did pick Ryan Sessegnon as well because he is a wing back. Yeah, he goes up and down the field, and he has been good for Spurs. And I have actually picked Aaron Cresswell because he is like an established left back. Like he knows the game. He's played the game before. Again, he's not like an established left back for England, but he knows the game. He's been there a while, been at West Ham for a long time.
Sessegnon's a good one. I didn't think about that because he plays often for Spurs, doesn't he? And he's been up there, goals and assists. You know what? I'll give that to you.
Okay,
I would definitely put Sessegnon in there over Mitchell.
Yeah.
But Cresswell, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cresswell's a bit washed. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But again, to be fair, if you're thinking about Sessegnon and Mitchell and Shaw, Cresswell won't really touch the squad.
True.
Then. So that's okay. Yeah.
Center backs. Can I start?
Yeah.
I've got first of all John.
How many have you got? Firstly,
I've got 6, but I'm very very willing to cut that down to 4 or 5.
Right. I've got 4. So.
Yeah, I'm willing to cut it down. Yeah. Don't get me wrong because I made this list in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah.
I've got John Stones. I've got Tomori.
Yeah.
I've got Joe Gomez. Got Chris Smalling. Got Ben White. And the last one, this is not because I think he's a good player. I don't like the way he plays. It's Harry Maguire, and that is only because I think that Southgate he usually plays Maguire in a 5-back, and sometimes Maguire.
I'm leaving.
Listen to me. Sometimes Maguire he thrives in a 5-back formation. When he's in the middle and he has I'm not. The thing is, I'm talking negatively about Maguire. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say that he is good enough when he has protection around him. When he's the middleman, he's got 2 on each side and then 2 on the wing backs.
Yeah.
Then he's an alright player. He's been good for England in a 5-back before. I don't want him. I don't think he should go. But this one I actually based off what I think is going to happen, and I think he will pick Maguire. Because he can thrive in a 5-back.
So is that what you think or what you want? You wouldn't want it. Yeah. So you said you wouldn't want him to go.
Yeah,
I think he should, but you think he will.
I think he will. I think if there's not other players, I think he should just for the sake of it. If he's not gonna pick Ben White, I think he might as well pick Maguire because who else are you gonna pick, right? Yeah. But I do think Smalling is favored over him. Gomez, Tomori, Stones, all should be favored over him.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I do like the fact that you have 6 centre-backs, bearing in mind that we will probably play a 5-back formation.
Yeah, so you need 3 on the pitch at the same time.
And then you need some backups. I've only got 4, which I might need to have put 1 more in there.
You need 5.
Definitely wouldn't be Maguire. I definitely understand that in a 5-back, when he has protection, he's not a bad player. There's a reason there was an 80 million price tag on him. But simply because of how bad he's been in the past 2 seasons, I just don't think...
And his confidence. I don't think he should go.
He has no confidence. But Southgate will pick him. Let's be real. It's his favourite person on this entire planet. He will go to the World Cup. Sorry, that's my phone. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. There we go. Sorry about that. It's on silent. It's my alarm. So yeah, let me tell you. I've got Stones, White, Gomez and Tomori, which is 4 of the same ones as you. And if we were starting in a 3-back, I'd have Stones, White and Gomez starting. And then a 2-back, I'd have Stones and White.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you? Tomori, what about Tomori? Do you think he
No, I would have Tomori in my starting.
Instead of Gomez?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I would have Tomori. I don't care instead of who, I would just have him.
The only reason I didn't put Tomori in there is because I hate to be one of those people who says other leagues aren't as good as the Premier League. But Tomori plays in Serie A. Obviously, he did win the league with Milan. He has a strong case for himself, but the Premier League is a whole different pace. And if you're starting or you're playing in the Premier League and you're playing well, you should be starting. Obviously, Gomez, he played really well against City, but then the game after he had a really
But
really
this is
bad
not
game.
the Premier League though. This is the World
I
Cup.
know, but it's arguably the highest level of football in Europe,
I think that's Champions League.
other than Champions League. I mean, league wise.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely should have one more in there. But I can't really decide who it would be. Maybe Guehi. We didn't talk about Guehi. Mark Guehi.
He also for Crystal Palace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You don't think so?
No. It's not like there's just so many other better than him,
What about Connor Cody?
No. I would have James Tarkovsky over him.
Or Tyrone Mings. That's someone that's.
I would have Mings over him as well.
Yeah.
I didn't say his name because he's not been what he was. I think he's fallen off a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Mings is also playing for a hot form Aston Villa right now. But one thing you got to know about Southgate is he doesn't take players who are on good form or base it on how they're playing in that current moment. He'll think, who's good for England? Who has been good for England? Who do I like? And he'll take them. That's why Maguire will go to the World Cup.
That's a good thing and a bad thing. Who do I like is a bad thing because it creates personal relationships between the coach and the players, and he will pick them based off of how he views them.
Yeah.
If it's on the field, I get that, but if it's as per people, that's not a good thing.
No.
And again, you cannot only base it on form as well, because what is really important for national teams is that you have a group that is like one collective, a unit.
Yeah.
Especially because they don't play with each other on a daily basis. They actually play against each other on a daily basis. Yeah. Ben White plays against Stones, Gomez, and Harry Kane, and everyone, Foden as well.
Yeah.
So you need to name the same players for the World Cup.
Definitely, in terms of having good chemistry, and if you're playing with each other every week, you play with each other before, you have experience in these situations. They've gone far together, England, so they would have had that experience. So I get your point there, definitely. But should we move on to the midfielders?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I start?
Go on.
I've got Jude Bellingham.
And this is I'm just talking midfielders in general, so not wingers, like including left mids and right mids.
No, I haven't got left mids, right mids.
Okay.
I've got Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, James Maddison, and Jordan Henderson for the experience and for the leadership father role on the team.
I totally agree. I have all 5 of those.
Oh.
And on top of that, I've actually got James Ward-Prowse.
I think he will go as well.
I don't think
I consider
that we can't go without him, because not necessarily that we can't survive without him. Obviously, we have quality, but Ward-Prowse is a quality player. Obviously, offers the same as Trent on dead balls, which can be important in these one-off games.
But James Maddison is also a dead ball specialist. That's why I didn't pick James Ward-Prowse, because I was like, it either has to be Maddison or Ward-Prowse, and then I just picked Maddison. This is based off form.
Yeah. I mean, you had more defenders than me, so I did have a little bit more space. But then I have one more centre midfielder, which is going to shock some people. And this has been a personal favourite player of mine for years. And I know he won't go. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a quality footballer. He's tall, he's strong, he's athletic. His ball control is second to none. And again, as I said, in these one-off games, a player like Loftus-Cheek to win you those 50-50 battles, to take you that extra step, to give you that extra effort, that energy, is definitely something we need. Even coming off the bench, he's an impact player.
And let me say something. If it's a 2-man midfield, he would be really good alongside with Jude Bellingham.
He is the definition of a box-to-box. Yeah. And the thing is, right, when when England play a 5-back, then they've got 5 defenders and then 2 defensive-minded midfielders. Obviously, Jude Bellingham is a box-to-box, but then they've got Rice. But then he won't play Trent on the right either. So then that sort of compensates for going forward. But it's negative football.
Yeah. Let's move on to the attack.
Terrorist football, as Bargav calls it.
I'm going to start with the wingers. I'm going to start with the left wingers.
Okay.
And keep in mind, some of these players can play on the right and on the left. Actually, all of my wingers, I do believe, can play either where. Yeah. I've got Foden, Sterling, and Rashford.
Okay.
That's my wingers.
All right. And just give me your right wingers as well.
Bukayo Saka is the only one, because Sterling can play right wing and so can Foden.
Okay.
So 4 wingers collectively. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got the exact same ones. Oh, you didn't say Sancho, did you?
No, I don't think he should go.
I've got Saka, Sterling, Rashford, Grealish, Sancho, and Foden.
Grealish?
Yeah.
That's a lot of wingers.
It is.
I guess some of them can play attacking midfielder.
The
but
thing
still.
is with Foden, he can play a bit deeper. Grealish can also play deeper. And
have you got Rashford?
I've got Rashford.
Yeah, he can play striker as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And the reason I've gone with Grealish is because he is still a world class player. And he's proven that many times. I'm not a player who likes Grealish. I always talk about his price tag and how he's been a flop. But in a particular situation like this, having somebody who can give you that moment of brilliance will give you that impact. And there isn't a better player right now who you would imagine would find their form for England than Jack Grealish, because everyone loves him. It's his time to shine. He's a fan favourite. And I do genuinely believe having somebody like Grealish, not only in the dressing room, but just off the bench, is definitely someone. And then I just wanted to agree with you, by the way, about the Henderson thing.
Yeah.
Because I guess those midfielders are pretty much obvious.
Yeah.
And then obviously Jude, Bellingham, and yeah, Henderson is definitely. I thought we were going to disagree on that. But
no,
yeah.
For experience and for like leadership, I think you should go there. That.
Because people underestimate how important it is.
You don't necessarily need him in the starting 11 or even to come off the bench, but just to travel with the team, be there, and that's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch these videos that many different national teams do, their camp, the time they spend together. People don't think about it, that they're still people, and a lot of them are young. A lot of them are a little bit older than us. So having somebody like this is really, really vital.
Like Saka, Foden, they're all young.
They're young. Mount is arguably young as well. Yeah. Rashford is still young. Jude
James
Bellingham is a little boy. He could be in school right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's go to strikers. Yeah, I've got two. I've got Harry Kane and I've got Ivan Toney.
Okay.
And again, I had Rashford as a winger, but again, he can play striker. I do believe that I picked 27 players for this one. Okay. So Maguire goes out, and then this is my final.
All right. So I have 3 strikers.
Okay.
Kane.
Yeah.
Toney.
Yeah, good.
And one more striker. Can you guess who it is? Not Tammy Abraham.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking of him.
Premier League.
No. I don't know. Who is it?
Callum Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Newcastle.
Okay, yeah. I thought about him, but he's not going over Toney or Kane for me.
For me, they all 3 go.
Yeah.
Because he's been playing really well this season. And Toney's got he's got good numbers. And Wilson has good numbers. But Wilson's doing it for a better team higher in the league. And his goals mean points, which is what they're supposed to mean. And I had space for it. And I think depth in attack, especially because Kane is really, really good. But for the type of football I want to see England playing in this World Cup, I do feel like Callum Wilson does fit the
that's why I picked Toney, because I feel like he fits it more than Kane.
Yeah.
Like he's a bit more athletic than Kane is. Not a bit more, a lot more.
Because if you have so many defenders and then defensive-minded midfielders and then a slow striker.
Yeah.
So nowadays, centre-backs are getting quicker and quicker. We need to play quick football. Definitely think someone who can threaten that back line like Callum Wilson is good. But who of these wingers starts for you?
Let's do a whole formation.
Okay. And just before we do that, actually, so in terms of Sessegnon, so I take out Tyreek Mitchell and put in Sessegnon.
Yeah. And I just take out Maguire completely, and then I take out Pickford and put in Pope.
Oh, sorry, Pope.
Yeah, Pope.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. my start again. My formation is a 5-2-3, and my goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah.
To come off the bench, it is Nick Pope, and obviously that's probably not gonna happen, but we never know.
Hope not.
My right back is, or this is I guess a wing back, is Trent. Trippier could also play some games. He should play and start at least one game, maybe against Iran or against Wales. He could play. And my center backs are Stones, Tomori, and this is a hard one because we got Gomez, Smalling, and White. I think I'm gonna go with Joe Gomez.
Oh wow!
Yeah, all of them could go in for me really.
Okay.
Left back will be Luke Shaw starting, and then Sessegnon coming off the bench, because he is also an impact player. He can also play as a winger though.
Yeah.
My 2 center mids is gonna be Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice.
Yeah.
And then my left wing is going to be Foden, striker Kane, right wing Saka.
All right. Okay. Ours is pretty similar. Yeah. I've got Pope. And for me, Ben White is a no-brainer, especially on the right side of a 3-back, because he plays right back for Arsenal. He can move this way, and then that also means that Trent, who I have at right wing back, Did you have Trent as well, right wing back?
Yeah.
He can get some cover, some extra cover.
Wait, who do you say right centre back?
Ben White.
Ben White.
Stones in the middle, and then Joe Gomez,
Yeah.
left centre back, and then Trippier left wing back.
Okay.
I think that a right footer can play on the left, a left footer can't play on the right. Jamie Carragher said that, and I agree with it. And I do think that if
Why
you
is
have,
that? Why?
I have no idea. I disagree with it. I've looked. Yeah, it's a weird one that I don't really have justification for. But if you look at it, if you watch some YouTube videos about it, that it's just something that just when you watch build up play and the way teams play, naturally, a left footer will struggle on the right side of a pitch. But yeah,
not the pitch, but the right back, because we've
Yeah.
seen Messi, arguably the best player ever, used to be a right winger.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, sorry.
Robin as well, right
in
back.
terms of
Yeah.
the back,
Yeah.
my voice keeps cracking, man. But yeah, so that's my back five. Again, like I said before, Trippier can play there. He has played there before. And if you have a defender who's playing that well, you cannot possibly
Bench
leave him on
him.
the bench.
Yeah.
And then obviously I have Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice. I would potentially like to see Declan Rice dropped for either Ward-Prowse or Loftus-Cheek. Obviously would be great. Madison. Anyone really who's a little bit more attacking.
Haven't you got Mount in your World Cup squad?
I have.
Okay.
In terms of the starting 11.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a really negative midfield, unless you take into account that you've got two wingers who love going forward. So I guess there is a bit of compensation there. It really depends how we play. And then obviously Foden, Saka, and Harry Kane.
Yeah.
On my paper though, I do have two other formations, which you might think are a little bit interesting. So I'm gonna rattle them off.
You need to hurry up a little bit though.
Okay, I'll be quick. Okay.
Okay.
So in goal for my 4-3-3, I've got Pope, White, Stones, and then I got Luke Shaw on the left, and Trippier on the right, and then I have Jude Bellingham with Declan Rice as the CDM.
Okay.
And then I have Madison, and I have Trent.
Where?
On the right side of central midfield.
Okay.
So almost a midfielder, but the tactics would imply that he.
So wait, what is your midfield formation? 4-3-3?
1-6, 1-8, and 1-10, and Trent would be the 8.
Okay.
And then Foden, Kane, Saka. Simply because I feel like, obviously, like you mentioned before, you can't experiment in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see in a game the Liverpool. I keep saying Liverpool. It's just because we were talking about them beforehand. Where England are through or have secured points, or maybe Trent comes on, he changes at half time or something, that he tries Trent in a more offensive role and relieve him of his duties. Because as an England fan, seeing someone with so much potential going forward who can win you games, I would hate to see him wasted. And then obviously the same front three as I said. And then the last one is Trippier right back, Shaw left back, Pope, Stones, White as usual, Foden on the left side of midfield because he can play there, Jude Bellingham, and then Rice or Mount or Madison again, and then Trent on the right side of midfield, which would mean Saka would be dropped. Obviously not ideal, but the whole point of it is then also to have Callum Wilson and Kane up top, because then you can have one person
together.
Yeah.
You didn't even say the formation. It's
4-4-2. Sorry, it's a 4-4-2. Where you have Kane dropping a bit more deep.
He can play make. He can do
exactly,
that, yeah.
And then Wilson threatening that back line, pushing them back, giving space.
Good, actually.
So we have options. England have options.
So Foden left mid.
Yeah.
Jude, and then who? Rice, and then
Rice,
Trent.
or Mount, or Madison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Ward-Prowse.
I will go Rice to give that defensive stability.
Yeah.
I will go with Rice.
In a 4-4-2, that would make sense. Especially because people don't think about the fact that Trippier is also very attacking minded.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't get caught out as much as Trent, but he would also need the cover.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Is that where we wrap it up?
That's where we wrap it up. That was good. Next week we have got, by the way, the World Cup episode, and we're not gonna have 3 topics. It's just World Cup.
Unless something outrageous happens, that we might mention it a little bit.
Yeah. But it's only gonna be World Cup. Who do we think will win? We're gonna make our predictions actually. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the best episode.
Mm-hmm. And be prepared for that, because in the link in that video, there's gonna be a link to a website that Peter found that gives you the whole bracket where you can predict it yourself, and then you can go ahead and do that and let us know in the comments. But we'll let you guys know about that next week. Please anything you gotta say, any opinions you disagree with about the England or Europa League, anything you think we missed out or you want us to do in the future, let us know in the comments.
Anything we did good as well.
Yeah,
if you agree
we
or
need
disagree.
it. We need it because we're starting and we need the positivity.
Yeah.
And then for you guys listening on Spotify, keep here, follow us, rate us. For you guys on YouTube, go check out the Spotify, and then the people on Spotify, go check the YouTube. We're all under the Football Zone, so you can't search that and find anything else. And subscribe, please. We need some subscribers. We need to get up there. Oh, by the end of the Football Zone, I want one of those little things that KSI has. One of them little 100K ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get there
Play
one day,
buttons.
inshallah.
Yeah.
One day.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.